What's up, everybody? We made it to the end of the week. You are watching, once again, the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. This is Daily Dive. I am your host, Michael Carvelis in Guyton, Georgia, here on Friday, February the 21st, 2025. We are live on 12 on Sports via YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV. Subscribe to the 12 on Sports channel on YouTube for other great shows and live sports. And, of course, Box Lacrosse League action coming this year. On today's awesome show, we're going to talk to Adam Levi of the Lacrosse Matrix podcast, among other things. We'll get an analysis of the weekend's biggest games. We'll then talk to Pat Gregoire about the betting angles this weekend. The Cool Bet Canada / OTCB podcast, etc. guy will break it down for us with 3 of the games. And Pick'em, our Pick'em and best bets, and I'll let you know who our is. There's more than one this week. Without further ado, this show is presented by tickets.12onsports.com. That's tickets.numbers12letters OZsports.com. Get your National Lacrosse League tickets for less by going to that website, which also includes the PLL and all your favorite music artist concerts, not to mention way more like Broadway and theater if you're into that kind of thing. Tickets.12onsports.com. Without further ado, let's bring him on, Mr. Adam Levi. How are you, sir? That's the tickets graphic. Here is your graphic, my bad.
There we go, man. I can't wait to look as young and energetic as that photo again. What a time that was. What a time that was. Mike, I'm so glad to be here again.
Right. You suck at taking recent photos. That's why I had to do it for you.
Yeah, also having a toddler and you know, it'll wear you down.
And you make you fat too, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is yeah. That's fair.
All right, Lacrosse Matrix podcast. What's the latest in that, sir?
Yeah, it's been great. There's been some really good episodes that came out this week. The Christian Del Bianco episode was a good one. Yeah, it's been really exciting. Not sure who we're gonna have this week. Westberg was on this week as well, and that was I mean, it seemed like everyone had Westberg on their week. And he also won NLL Player of the Week, so he was the it guy, but also very deserving with the week that he had. So very, very cool to have a conversation with him. Go check that one out. There's definitely going to be differences in the conversations that he had with me or Mackie and Coop on NLL Box Out, or even on Lacrosse Classified. Each one will be different. So if you got the time, you know, and you love Westberg, go check them all out.
And Daily Dive will get him one day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. Preston, has he made his picks?
He did. It was incredibly chaotic this morning. Yeah, if you go check out the video, our dog was having a bit of a, I don't know, she was very excited and wanting some belly rubs as well, trying to steal Preston's gummies. And Preston was using all kinds of different things to pick out his team. So anyway, go check that out. And if you haven't made your picks yet, go to officepooljunkie.com. You guys are all still in contention to win season tickets to the NLL team of your choice for next season. So a lot on the line. It's still very competitive. And I know in Who You Got, Mike, you're a little disappointed that I am ahead of you now. I currently sit in 4th place overall there. So I'm going for the top this week. Hopefully I can do that.
Well, I'm rooting for you not. Okay, now let's get into our first game that you've chosen for us here. Let's do chronological order here. Halifax Thunderbirds at the Ottawa Black Bears. The question I have for you, and then you can do whatever you want, is Ottawa's offense actually back, or was that just a flash in the Albany Firewolves pan?
I think it was a mixture of both. I mean, this has been a very unselfish offense this season. I mean, we have Jacob Dunbar leading the team in goals and not Jeff Teat or anybody else. So, you know, first of all, kudos to Jacob Dunbar and all the success that he's had so far with this team, which is perfect because I actually have an NLLPA.com player feature on Jacob Dunbar that just got shared out and was on the website yesterday. So definitely go check out that. He learned so much during his time in San Diego, learning from guys like Wes Berg, we just talked about, and Curtis Dixon, Dane Doby, and so many others. And now he is putting it all together in Ottawa. But the Ottawa 18 goals was the most they've ever scored in a game in franchise history. So to expect that they're going to, and that includes the New York Riptide days, that, I'm not sure that we can say, oh, yeah, we can expect them to score 17, 18 goals very often. But it does show that this team is incredibly capable. They also had 9 different goal scorers, so more than just the offense contributing there. But yeah, that was the best Ottawa game, I think, other than the Toronto game, which isn't necessarily a fair analysis because Toronto was so beat up at the time. But yeah, if Ottawa can play even 75% of what they did in this past game, they have a real good chance of winning. However, Halifax, if they win 6 out of 7 wins, winning 6 out of 7 for them if they can win this game, which they haven't done in a handful of years, that kind of streak. So, I mean, both teams looking good. Halifax, a little bit more of a resume right now to say, hey, like, we're proving that we're this good. Ottawa at the beginning stages of that. I think that Halifax does take this one just because it seems like all of their pieces are coming together. Warren Hill looking better, the defense and transition looking great, offense starting to click. It really does seem like they are hitting their stride at the right time.
I know you're a big Levy Nuggets guy, which translates to awesome lacrosse stats. But I have to ask you, because I think, I don't know if Pat coined this term, but a couple of weeks ago he said, the T translator in Riley O'Connor is back. Is there stats to back up him playing with Jeff Teague and just suddenly Jeff Teague explodes?
That is a great question, and let me, I can tell you. I can tell you. Well, first of all, I mean, I think that they've had this chemistry for years and years, and playing together, or not years and years, but a handful of years. And so Riley's been great, and things have been, he's a great leader on the floor. He has a good relationship with Jeff, and Jeff has really become one of those guys that is an unselfish leader, which I think is incredibly cool. Awesome to see Kai, the goalie, in here. That episode, Mike, really, really awesome stuff. And Kai, what you're doing, raising awareness for an important cause, is so incredibly cool. But yeah, I think that you could ask Pat a little bit more about that, but I think that definitely Riley O'Connor brings a presence and a connection with Jeff that is helping him to grow and mature, as well as they've played with each other for enough years that they know where each other is on the floor.
I also suggested on the show that I picked Halifax to win this game as well, just because if Ottawa doesn't score 18, I feel like I'm a lot more confident in Halifax. So, that's why I went with the Thunderbirds ultimately. I don't know what your thought process is on that. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the Thunderbirds. I just think that they look too good right now.
Yeah. All right. Next game, we've got the Saskatchewan Rush at the Vancouver Warriors. Sask across. Speaking of multiple podcasts like Wesley Berg, the talk of the town and the talk of NLL shows this week was the Saskatchewan Rush are back. But Milosky would love to make that not be a thing this week. What is the keys to this game? What is your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, it's going to be a really exciting game. Vancouver really needs a win, and they need it on their home floor. That place is rocking. Jason Thorne and all of the management of the Vancouver Warriors is just doing an excellent job putting butts in seats and getting people excited about lacrosse in Vancouver, so that's incredible. And I know that Kurt Milosky and guys like Kevin Crowley, who do work outside of the Warriors trying to grow the game in the Metro Vancouver area, that also is helping to grow the game. There you go. There's the ball. And so, I think, it's going to be a very exciting game. I do think that Sask, they really are at the top of the pile when it comes to strongest teams in the National Lacrosse League. I was just talking about this earlier this week on Inside the World of Box Lacrosse with Steven Stamp. That's our weekly show now on InsideLacrosse.com. So you can definitely go check that out. But we were talking about the idea that, for awards, how do you really give many awards to guys on the Rush? Because they're playing such good team ball that, while there are players that are having great seasons, Robert Church playing well, Keenan, Matt Hossack, I would say, is probably the one guy where you say, okay, he's your defensive player of the year. And I know that John Fraser said that on your show earlier this week, and I think that's totally fair. But like when you look at you got Mike Messenger and Jake Boudreau, who are both beasting out in transition. You've got other defenders who are playing great for them. They're just like every single position, or almost seems every single player is contributing, and that's why they're having success. So I think that, I can't wait for next week's game where Saskatchewan takes on Buffalo, because that is going to be a true test of both teams to see how good they are. It's going to be incredible. But I do think Sask takes this one. But I think that Vancouver, they never stop being gritty. They never stop fighting. Kurt Malosky is one of the greatest minds, coaching minds in this game that we've seen, and he's just he is so able to get his message across to the guys, and that you can see that on the floor. Aiden Walsh has been a great story all year long. I think it's a good game, but Sask wins.
I love it. With the Rush, it's kind of one of those weird spots. I think I talked to John about this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Would it almost feel better, since the Rush are on such a high right now, if Vancouver does beat them? Because I asked him about that, and he was saying, well, the Rock did that for them. But I feel like another bump in the road might help them against the Bandits.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how that could work. That's a really good thought. I mean, like, the more that you face adversity, and the more that you have those challenges and you find ways to overcome them, you're only going to be stronger at the end of it. I think that they don't necessarily need a loss to do that. I think that really any team that challenges them in any game, it's going to expose things that they're going to want to clean up real fast. Again, when you talk about great coaching minds, obviously Jimmy Quinlan has been the head coach, but now stepping in as an associate head coach, our co-head coach, Derek Keenan, one of the great minds in lacrosse, also on that Saskatchewan Rush bench. It's gonna be a chess match, which I'm not sure chess and lacrosse really have much crossover, but it's gonna be a fun battle of great minds, and you're gonna see grit and determination from both sides.
It's fast like checkers, but there's a lot of chess involved behind the scenes.
You play checkers fast, eh? I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fast. I'm probably average, but I haven't played checkers in a long time.
I do like both those games, if we're being honest. Anyways, Rochester Nighthawks, speaking of knights in chess, at the Calgary Roughnecks. So Rochester, this is their third game back with Rylan Hartley, of course, and I still think Hutchcraft was snubbed, but regardless of that, is them getting their feet wet with Rylan Hartley enough to pull off what would be an upset, because the Roughnecks have been awesome?
Yeah, the Roughnecks have been really, really great. And pointing out another Roughneck off the floor that's doing great stuff, Tyler Pace, what he's doing on the floor, great stuff. But his show, Morning Shoot Around with Christian Del Bianco, and Tino Farah has been very awesome, incredibly candid stuff. So it seems like the Roughnecks are really having a lot of success on and off the floor right now. So good for them for that. But yeah, I mean, I think that the Roughnecks, it's going to be a real challenge for Rochester, because Rochester still has these issues in transition and on defense. They're still allowing so many shots, and right now that Roughnecks offense is looking more potent than most people expected. And you don't just have one guy who can get you. You've got multiple guys who are scoring. Look at Hayden Dixon, popped off last game, but then you've got Curtis Dixon, who's looking great. You've got Dane Doby, who's what he's doing is unbelievable. And then the guy who makes everything work is Jesse King. And I was talking to Rochester Nighthawks head coach Mike Hazen earlier this week, and yeah, he did admit that Hartley wasn't on his A game. He seemed a little bit rattled after Saskatchewan got to him early last game. Right. They still have confidence in him, but as they've said, they have confidence in both goaltenders. Hartley, though, has a save percentage of around 73-74% in his first two games back, so they know they have Hutchcraft, and if he starts to flail a little bit, Hartley does, they know that they have Hutchcraft in there to step up.
Well, I'm excited for that. And by the way, it's our fault in the media in other places, maybe my fault at least, for saying maybe Dane Dobie and Curtis Dixon don't still have it. And apparently they do, which is why their offense is so stinking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I also spoke with Stamper about this on Inside the World of Box Lacrosse. That it's that fuel, and I'm not going to say that Curtis Dixon and Dane Dobie are waiting on their phones all the time to see what people are saying. Although Curtis Dixon has come at you a handful of times on social media, but those are guys that when they hear or see any kind of knock on them. It does really feel like they take it in and they're like, screw you guys. Like, I'm going to show you what I have. And, that's a killer's mentality. And look at what they've done throughout their careers, proving so many people wrong time and time again. It's really awesome to see, and it's great for Calgary. Who knows realistically, and I'm not saying about a decline, but they both understand that they're reaching an age where they don't have that much time left to play great lacrosse. So the fact that this is happening now is very cool for them, and we should appreciate it for as long as they're going to be able to do it.
I'm happy to be Curtis Dixon's motivation at this point in his career.
Good. How did it feel when they threw you through the table?
That didn't hurt as bad as me being challenged to be a goalie, because I'm a big guy, but I don't move very well.
Oh, right. No, I second that idea, and I would fly you out, to make that happen. That would be incredible.
You're a Vancouver guy. You could be out there, too.
Yeah, but they don't have beef with me.
Let's start that while we're here. No kidding. Adam, thanks so much for your time once again. And shout out to Canada for beating USA in the whatever the Four Nations thing was, but you got a lot of heat for that, and I'm glad. They didn't beat them down, but they did good. I was proud of them.
Well, my wife's Canadian. My kids are Canadian. Preston's a dual citizen. I started my career in Vancouver. I owe everything to Canada, really, for where I am today as a person and professionally. So, no, seriously, it sounds hyperbolic, but there you go,
This
Pat.
guy's insane.
Yeah, I was pumped up. I had a Canadian whiskey highball going on towards the end of that game, so I was pumped for that. It was super cool. But yeah, it's it just as a quick thought. I know Pat's waiting in the wings, but I had mentioned someone had mentioned about the idea of lacrosse incorporating. I think it was Larkin Kemp who had tweeted out about this, and he had said that lacrosse should adopt something like that. And then Ian McKay said, well, why Larkin had said something about field, and Ian said, well, why not box or sixes? And I think that, the more that we can kind of understand that sixes is kind of the vision, and we kind of accept that and move towards that, then I think that, a tournament in a sixes format that has all the elements of this Four Nations tournament, I think could be incredibly successful. It's just another way to get lacrosse on the TV and in people's, minds and thinking about it and excited about the game. So I know CEO World Lacrosse Jim Shear is behind it. I had asked him, and he's always looking to move the game forward. And guys like Paul Rabel, Brett Frood should definitely work together and see if there's something they could do to make that happen, because that would be incredible.
Work together to show fans that box is the best, but yeah. Adam, thanks again for all that you do, and you have a fun one, man. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I'm going up to Albany to see the Wings and Firewolves game. It's going to be an exciting one. So yeah, can't wait for that. Mike, always appreciate the time that I have on here with Daily Dive. Don't have a poem with you this week, but and also Pat, you are so right. Violets, they're not blue. I don't know. I actually tried to look it up, and I found that it was, someone explained it as like a mansplaining deal, where there was like, it was blue enough and they didn't want to say violet because that was some kind of easy color, and so they were like, oh, that's just blue. Lazy. Goodness. Yeah. Anyway, Mike, thank you so much.
Adam Levi, everybody, at Adam Levi LAX on Twitter, and at Adam_Levy_ LAX on Instagram. All right, folks, when we come back, Pat Gregoire is here to talk betting angles for the weekend. You don't want to miss it. I know you won't.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pods Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sup? How you been, Pat? Oh. He's on mute, buddy.
What a rookie move. What an absolute rookie move. I'm doing good, Mike. Good to be back on the program.
I just had to check. Cody Jansen was on the OTCB podcast yesterday, I say.
Yes, he was. Unfortunately, I was not able to. My flight from, it was a bit of a disaster travel flight that was supposed to be at noon. I was going to get to the hotel and record the podcast, but my flight was canceled and rebooked for 4 o'clock. So I was in the air when those two were chatting. But I actually gave most of it a listen already, and it's a great conversation with Cody. No one knows the Rush better than Cody, and he always brings a fire whenever he comes on the OTCB podcast.
He can be electric on this show too. I'm not gonna lie.
That's true. That's absolutely for sure. No, Cody, big fan of Cody, and I'm upset I wasn't able to ask him any questions. But I like I said, it was a great show, great conversation with Teddy.
So since I asked Adam about it, can I ask you about the T translator line? I know you didn't coin that, did you?
I did coin it. I think some people were calling him the Teat Whisperer. I'm saying it's more of a translator because I think that he is just one of few players in the NLL, or quite frankly on the planet, that thinks the game the same way that Jeff Teat does, and he can understand the way he sees things. He is a very cerebral player. He's very smart. He's a coach, and one of the things is he's able to be a really good, strong communicator. So I think when he sees the same things that Jeff is seeing, he's able to go to his teammates and explain it in a different way because he's a coach. So he can speak to all different talent levels. I mean, we see it in a lot in sports. Just because you're a good player doesn't mean that you're going to be a great coach, but that's certainly the case for Riley O'Connor. I think when his career is done, which I know he still has a lot of fuel left in the tank, this guy is destined to be a coach in the National Lacrosse League for sure.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that stuff because are you, for the Halifax Ottawa game, are you on the total of 21.5? Because that seems a little bit too easy. And what am I missing here?
Well, it seems like on the surface, it seems like, okay, well, look at the offenses. Look what Jeff Teat and Riley O'Connor were able to do. Look what this Black Bears offense has been able to do. They have looked electric. Overs for Halifax have been cashing like crazy this season. Well, that's up until the last few games for Halifax. The defense has looked a lot better. Warren Hill's goals against average is, he's chopped it by almost 3 goals now over the past 4 games. And when you look at Halifax's offense, yes, they are one of the most dynamic offenses in the league. I believe they're 3rd highest at scoring. They're 3rd power play. But you look at what Ottawa, I know they've been done a really good job of keeping the ball out of their net. This is why it makes it difficult for the total. Also, when you look at Higgins, he's having a goaltender of the year type of season. You could argue he's having an MVP type of season, but he has struggled quite immensely against the Halifax Thunderbirds over his career. In 6 games played, he's got a 1-3 record and averages 16.91 goals against with a .726 save percentage. So he has struggled against these sharpshooters for Halifax. And Halifax, I think, has only lost once to the Riptide, now Black Bears franchise. So I think I'm going to stay away from the total. I think there's just too many ways this game goes. But like Adam Levi said in the latest segment, I think I'm going to go with the Thunderbirds here on the money line. I just think the way that they've been playing, they are so well-rounded. And I really like what we saw from Ottawa last week. I just need to see it again. I need to see it against a much better defense, because we know Albany, although on paper have a strong defense, it's been struggling with a lot of the injuries, and Doug Jameson certainly just hasn't been himself.
I like the Halifax money line play as well, because like you mentioned, and like I mentioned to Adam, if we don't see 18 from Ottawa, are we even thinking twice about this game right now?
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, Mike. The one thing that I like about this Halifax group is they've proven they can win the low-scoring games. They've also proven they can win or at least keep pace in those high-scoring games. We know that if this thing does turn into a track meet, they can go out and they have the offense to do it. But they also have the capabilities with the defense, with guys like Ryan Tarafanko, who's coming into his own. Graham Hossack, who I think last couple of games has played some of his best lacrosse of this season. Jake Withers is back to being an absolute beast. So I think when you look at the game script, either way this script does go, Halifax has the capabilities. Yeah, you got the script right there. Either way this script is written, I think Halifax is built to win either way.
I like that. And that's a great point about them playing 2 different ways. Saskatchewan Rush and the Vancouver Warriors. Just to regurgitate some of the same stuff from the last segment. Milwaukee would love to play the upset here, but realistically, I got to ask you, what does Vancouver have to do to keep this to get a win? And what is your thoughts on the betting angles of the game?
I think what Vancouver needs to do to win is own the middle of the floor from a defensive standpoint. Let Saskatchewan shoot from the outside. Allow Aiden Walsh to see the shots that he wants to see. But we've seen in the last couple of Vancouver games, they've not looked quite like themselves defensively. Yeah. They've been exposed with some teams that have speed, that move the ball well. Normally they pack it in. They'll still challenge you on ball, but they have great backdoor help. They have great secondary slides. They really do a good job of packing things in and taking away those tough shots on top of the crease. But with that being said, it's been a little bit leakier over the last couple of games. So I think that they're going to have to get back to Vancouver style of defense. And also, to be quite frank, their offense needs to be better. It's been too Jekyll and Hyde for me. Some games, last game we see Keegan Ball put up an 8 spot, but we've also seen him, be a little bit quieter. So I think it's a well-rounded game, but it always, as many of these teams, especially this Vancouver team, it's got to start with the back end. With that being said, Saskatchewan right now, to me, they're the best team in the NLL, not named the Buffalo Bandits. I think you could, argue that maybe in a couple of weeks when we see these two teams go head-to-head, maybe they are in that same category. Maybe it's a 1A, 1B. Right now, I think, to me, they're the second-best team, and no other team has really proven that they are in that echelon, and I think it's because of the well-roundedness. So for me, I'm going to ride with Saskatchewan minus 139 at Coolbet. That's usually the juiciest money line that I will play. Looking at the total right now, it's 22 at Coolbet. Probably stay away from that total. But if I had to lean anywhere, I know it's a low total, but I'd probably go under with how well these two defenses can play.
I like that because like you said, 21, even 21.5 makes it even scarier with the under. But I was leaning that way as well with the total. But no, Saskatchewan money line. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
So
they're this with the big thing with Saskatchewan, and I think you said it, like a loss for this group wouldn't be the worst thing for them. But now they're within striking distance of Buffalo. Like if Buffalo loses to San Diego this week, in 2 weeks, that could be an opportunity for Saskatchewan, not just to take first place, but to, give some breathing room. Or if Saskatchewan wins this week and Buffalo wins next week, it just elevates the stakes even more. So as much as you want to get a couple of losses out of the way, like I think Buffalo losing last week actually kind of helps them in their favor. Mm-hmm. But now that you're chasing first place, the room for error might be larger from a big picture standpoint. But these teams want to win every week. These teams want to get that home floor advantage all the way throughout playoffs. Look at Buffalo. Look at how well it's done for them.
Yeah. I picked 12-9 rush win. I also like Keegan Ball's under 5.5 points. Just saying.
Okay, interesting.
I thought it was high enough. All right, so now we've got, speaking of those Bandits, the Bandits take on the Seals, and I'm shocked that this is 2.5 on the spread in favor of Buffalo, because is Vegas basically telling me that Buffalo team we saw was just at the sake of their second leg of a back-to-back? There's no way.
Well, I think it's just a lot of faith in the Buffalo Bandits. I think it's a lot of faith that this team can come back and bounce back. Yes, a lot of it had to do with a emotional victory where things got a little bit crazy at the end of the game. And then you go in and face a San Diego team who was basically sleeping in the hotel, cozy, ready to roll, like watching the game probably all together. And Buffalo came out flat, but they were able to at least get that game into overtime. So I think that's where the book is leaning. For me, it's probably where I'm leaning too. I don't see Buffalo losing 2 games in a row. I don't see them losing to the same team. Like I said it on this program, I've said it on OTCB, I might have even said it on TSN. The best way that you can beat the Buffalo Bandits this year in the playoffs is first round. I think the only way this team doesn't win a championship is if they lose in the first round. I just don't see a team that's going to be able to beat them 2 out of 3 games. And with that logic, that means San Diego can't do it 2 weeks in a row. I think San Diego is making a lot of progress. I like the way that their offense has looked a little more. Defense is starting to get a little more cohesive as well. I just still don't think they are in the same category as Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo is going to spot them another 4-0 lead. One cause for concern: no Chase Fraser. Chase Fraser is suspended from that melee after the game. It has come out. I don't know if it's been announced, but internally, the disciplinary email did go out, and he will be serving a 1-game suspension for that match penalty. Don't know if he is going to appeal it, because if he does appeal it, I believe he can play while the PA figures that one out. But so he will be out. So they'll be down, obviously, a very key cog in that offense. It'll be interesting to see who draws into the lineup for them. But for me, just maybe it's a young Lucas Nielsen. Maybe he makes his debut, their first-round draft pick this year. He is a righty, big shot. Maybe that's where it comes in. Still, I get it. Chase Fraser, very good player, a very key part of that offense, but who slides up into the depth chart? Oh, Doganenko. Now he is going to be getting more touches, getting more play. I like that for him. That's a big opportunity for him. So for me, San Diego, great couple of wins in a row, gritty wins. I think Wes Berg is putting his name into an MVP category. But with that being said, the Buffalo Bandits, too good, too fast, too strong, and I don't see them losing 2 in a row. And the fact that I can get it at -1.5 at Coolbet rather than the 2, I will absolutely take that for sure. And a parlay piece, minus 197, 96 right now. Cool bet. Not playing that individually, but if you're building a parlay, I would certainly have that as one of my legs for sure.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I believe FanDuel is the one that like has the minus 1.5 as well in the U.S. So I'm glad like there's some. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because like you say, if the parlay, you like those. You don't want the minus 270s out there, but that's amazing. And also, Matt Spanger's out for the year after his non-contact thing. So that's another death piece, if your fans are wondering.
Yeah, that's really tough. A really unfortunate bounce for Spanger. He just came back from an injury last year, blew at his knee. Just a terrible bounce. A guy that, has struggled with some really bad injuries. Wishing nothing but the best for Matt Spanger. But, like you said, depth. This Buffalo team has a lot of depth. Taylor Dooley probably draws into the lineup now as a regular. And I know he is hungry, ready to go. He made his debut already. He's a fast transition player that can move the ball up the floor, has a little bit of an edge to his game. So obviously he doesn't have that veteran pedigree that a guy like Spanger has. But whether you talk about some of the great dynasties, the Kansas City Chiefs, the New England Patriots, whatever it may be, you always hear next man up mentality. That's certainly the case with the Buffalo Bandits.
Philadelphia Eagles, not yet.
Not yet, but hey,
Canadian hockey. There we go. Yes.
First, not 51st.
I like the 11th province clap back to 51st. That was nice too.
That was nice. Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome.
Yeah, the internet's amazing. Pat, you said you're doing a game this week?
Yeah, I'm in Ottawa right now. We've got the game of the week. It's a doubleheader for TSN, another doubleheader, which I think is awesome for lacrosse fans, especially here in Canada. You mentioned it. Was it yesterday? I was listening to the program. The 7:00 game, 7:30 start, I should say, here on the East Coast. No other game going on. NBA's coming back. NHL's still on break. So a big opportunity to get some new eyeballs. But we'll have Halifax at Ottawa at 7:30, and then the nightcap, which I'm actually really looking forward to this game. We already talked about it. It is you've got Vancouver and Sask. I think that one's going to be a good one. Brad Challoner, Teddy Jenner, and Chantel Chan will be on the call for that one. And then for the game in Ottawa, will be myself, Ashley Docking, sideline reporting, and Matt Cullen inside the play-by-play booth.
Love it. You guys are great. Hopefully the fits are looking good again this week for you guys.
It won't be as color coordinated as what we had in Halifax with Mackie and Pete, but I think our fits will usually are, on point if I could toot our own horns, but I don't know what the other two have in stock.
Say, as far as you know, it's not color coordinated.
And maybe it could be. Who knows, right?
Oh,
hey,
Pat,
just so you know, hold on 1 second here.
I love when the AI camera follows him.
Give me a second here, Mike.
Go ahead, man.
You'll be happy. Oh,
I'm excited. Jeff Teats waiting for the door.
No. I packed socks this time for you. No ankles. No shows, no ankles. I will be having socks on this week for you, okay?
What's on the socks? Just like, are those lacrosse sticks?
Actually, little mustaches.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
I love it. Thank you for that, by the way.
No ankles. We won't show the ankles, so.
No, jeez. Thanks again. Thanks for your insight on that. We wish the people at Coolbet the best of luck, but not too much,
No, of course, yeah. Well, we want the people to have fun, but maybe not too much, okay?
Yeah, Pat, have a call and get some sleep, man.
I will, thank you. And as always, keep up the good work. And Kai the goalie. Big shout out to Kai the goalie. Great cause that he's doing there. So if you're in the chat or you're watching, make sure to check out his socials and support a great cause.
Thanks again, Pat. Have a good one. Back, we're going by at @PGreggy on Twitter and at @PGreggy22 on Instagram. All right, when we come back, it's time for our picks and best bets with some new people in the best bets. Cannot wait to mention that. You're watching Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. We gonna wrap it all up next.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
You need tickets to that next event? We've got them. That's right, tickets.12ozsports.com. Get you to any sporting event, concert, theater event that you can think of. And the promo code 12OZ or ROME gets you an additional discount. Don't feed the massive ticket corporate machine. Go to tickets.12ozsports.com and enjoy the show. America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you're getting your tickets for the next game, get them for less at tickets.12onsports.com. Tickets.numbers 1, 2 letters ozsports.com. You won't regret seeing things live. Like, got these things for a really good price. Also, if you want to check out the YouTube description, a link to all Week 13 games are there. You're welcome. We're doing the hard work for you. All right. Let's get into the picks. I'm 38-30 after a 4-4 week. Just absolutely gross. I've got the Halifax Thunderbirds to beat the Black Bears for reasons I've already mentioned. But if you're just tuning into this segment, I don't expect the Black Bears to drop another 18, and I feel like Halifax can do either or, like Pat said. I mean, Halifax. Colorado to stomp out the Desert Dogs. The Rush will beat the Warriors and continue to be great. The Rock will beat the Swarm in Mississauga. I trust the Rock way more, even though they have the worst record. Give me the Wings in Albany, because Albany has shown me they suck after 10 games this year. Give me the Roughnecks to beat the Nighthawks, because I don't trust Rochester to be consistent enough, even though I would like them to win. And give me the Bandits to beat the Seals by 1 or 2 goals. Probably 2, but we'll get to that in just a moment here. Bam! Here are my best bets. I'm now 20-17 after a 2-1 week. I'm trying to get further and further away from the plus 500. We'll see how it goes. Give me the over 21.5, minus 120 on DraftKings. Give me the Kai the goalie says, I feel betrayed with the Rock pick. I'm sorry, man. I gotta do it. You're gonna like the next one too, by the way. The Mammoth to cover the 2.5 against the Dogs, plus 100 at FanDuel. Keegan Ball, sorry, man, under 5.5 points against the Rush. And the Bandits money line against the Seals, or minus 1.5 if you want that. But I'll go money line just in case we can overtime San Diego Thriller. Bam! Who was Bigo? Oh, that's right. Our social media guy at LG Lacrosse 49. He's got the Thunderbirds Black Bears over as well. Wings Albany, big Albany guy, by the way, under 25.5. And he's got the Rush to cover the 1.5 against those Warriors. So he took it a step further with the Rush getting the win there. And that's at plus money on Coolbet and FanDuel. And finally, boom! Who is captain? Well, it's at El Cap E10 Picks. He's got the Thunderbirds Black Bears over again, which makes me wonder if all three of us have it. It's going to go under. Just saying, it's like a 9-7 game. I'm not putting that into the universe. It's just what happens. Connor Kelly of the Mammoth to go under 5.5 points against the Dogs. The Rock to cover, sorry, Kai the goalie, 1.5 against the Swarm. That's plus money on Coolbet. And the Wings, money line against Albany Firewolves. Sorry, Bigo. Why I'm just apologizing all over the place. But there's our picks and best bets. Of course, Pico and Captain, the newest members of this as I try to further myself from the pack. Alrighty. What a fun show. Oh, God. The Swarm by 100. Oops. Hey. He knows lacrosse. He's a goalie. He's rooting for Brett Dobson. I give him credit. Reminder to check out our store by going to dailydivelacks.creator-spring.com or by going to the link tree in our social media bios. Our social media, of course, is Daily Dive LAS. You can find all of our great people and socials, etc. We just appreciate all of you for tuning in. Also, 12ouncesports.com/cancer to support a good cause by raising pediatric cancer research. We thank you. Donate if you'd like. 12ouncesports.com/cancer. Well, thanks again for tuning in to this awesome show. We had a fun one. Pat looked tired, but he still brought the energy. But thank you all for coming on watching this show as always and commenting. Reminder, you are the bread, you're the butter, you are the sorry Kai the goalie. Sorry, man. To the Rock are going to beat that boy down, beat the team down. That was scary. I almost said that. Yeah. So thank you all for tuning in. That's what that actually means. For all of the people that come on the show as a guest, like Kai the goalie, like Pat Gregoire and Adam Levi every Friday, like more to come and those in the past, thank you all for sharing your audience and platform with us, giving us validity and relevance. I'm your host, Michael Carvell, saying have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place on Sports. This has been Daily Dive. Bye.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.